What would you say has been a light bulb moment that has made you think, I actually could buy a house?
When I realized that I could buy a house at 22 with a job in the service industry was during a conversation that I had with a friend who was leaving my house to go and view a home, and he was the one who told me that he only needed 3% to put a down payment on it and purchase the home. So he ended up talking with me a little bit more about that, and as I asked him questions, I realized that not only did you only have to have 3%, but also the 3% is not that much money. If I continued to save the amount of money that I typically put in my savings account, I would be able to buy a home by the end of the year. And he had started to talk about what it would look like to rent out a home if you purchased it. And he was telling me that, you know, if you rent out your house to 3 other people, then the amount that you'd each be paying would actually, or that they would be paying even, would be less than what you would pay for rent. And so I was like, oh. So I could pay less on a mortgage than I would for rent? Why wouldn't I do that? That makes way too much sense. So I think that was the moment that I was like, somebody call an agent real fast. Get me on the phone.
What would you say are some things about home that you love?
I really love being able to prepare a table for people. So whether that looks like literally setting a table and putting placemats out and having the silverware ready and creating a space that makes people feel welcomed and invited and loved because they know that there was thought put into their arrival. So before they ever got there, I was thinking of them. And it's actually really sweet to see their faces when they know, oh, you were thinking of me before I got here and you set this table and it's beautiful. Is a really special moment, and that's really meaningful to me. I think that I strive to be a homey, safe person, and so to be able to extend that into my actual physical space and invite other people into that is really sweet. Also, I love parties. So hosting parties and celebrations and events and gathering people on my front porch and having bonfires and be the one who gathers people is a really sweet thing for me.
What would you say are some things that set apart house and home? Where one place you walk into and you're like, oh yeah, this is a home, and another place you're like, oh look, 4 walls and someone could live here.
The distinction between someone having a house and someone having a home, I think actually has even less to do with what they have decorating their walls or their floors or their space, and more to do with the fact that they've invited me in the first place. I think it's really sweet when you have people who are incredibly hospitable, who choose to invite people in, and that may not always mean that they have the table prepared for you or that they have thought of all the little things like tiny shampoos, but more so that they've said, I'm inviting you into this space, and it's not only where I live, but it's where I welcome people. So to know that someone really truly lives in their space, I think always makes me feel like I'm being welcomed into their home. I think I really love like the eclectic, like, oh, here's this random photo of my great-grandfather when he was 15 years old, or like, here's this family heirloom.
It's like what makes the home or the house feel like an extension of a person instead of just a place that you sleep.
Yeah, so when they're an inviting and welcoming and hospitable person, and then their house also feels like warm and inviting, or if it just feels like, oh, this house, this space feels like it embodies the person well, then that begins to feel like a home, and that's always really sweet.
Thank you so much for joining. Like and subscribe for more interviews with friends, and if you have any questions, please reach out. I would love to connect with you.